Alright, I just want to run through the build process and work repositioning on the muzzle brake here. This is the blank for each half. It's 1 3/8 by just over a ½ inch, so if we could find some 1 1/2 by 3/4 stock, that would work really well for this, and there wouldn't be too much waste. So the first couple operations here, I'm going to go. These are cut down. You can ignore this for now. This will be drilled out on the lathe. I just forgot to hide it. My bad. I'll just do this. There we go. So this is the beginning of the actual profile for, it's annoying, whatever, ignore it. This is the beginning of the profile for the actual exhaust. It has another profile, sort of a curved one running back, just to give it some profile. This will be run with a fillet inside. So I'll contour down to this point with a flat mill, rough out the inside again with a 5/16, and then finish this off with a 1/4 inch, the ball mill we just got in. So that gives it a nice contoured look, I think. Don't mind that too much at all. That's all for this side. I might do the drilling from here just to keep it accurate, but it shouldn't matter too much. We'll clean up these ends so we can find the centers well. Next up from that is the hardware holes themselves. The counterbores will be drilled from this side. Again, I don't know, I might locate the holes over here and then come back and do the bores for the counter bore heads themselves, but we'll see. So there are 12 counter bores total. These back two just to pinch down on the threads like we were talking about. So again, we've done a work flip here. We're sitting the other way around in the vise. So we'll come down and drill and counter bore all of this hardware. No problem. And then after that, run these contours just with a 1/8. Should be quick and easy. They're only a 1/16 deep, so that shouldn't be too much trouble at all. I think that's all for that. Once we get both of these halves done, the bottom half won't have the counter bore holes, obviously. It probably won't even be drilled all the way through. We'll just stop it prematurely and just tap down sort of 3/4 of the way for the hardware. This shouldn't be too tough if we can find a bottoming 632 tab at least. We'll see. Once those are done, we'll take both halves and bolt them together like this. We just have the two blanks, made it up so the contours match on the inside. There should be a close enough tolerance in the hardware holes that it lines up pretty close to perfect. But you can see the nice 3D contouring that's going to be in there once it's done. Gives it some nice flare, I guess, or something. So once that's there, we'll take the whole thing out and throw it back in. Another repositioning vertically, find our center, and once we found the center, we'll come down with the bullnose 1/2 inch with that 3/16 radius and run this contour around the outside. This finishes the back end, and it gives us a cylindrical face to bolt onto, or to chuck into on the lathe, so we can start turning the outside once it's to this point. As far as doing that, that's the end of it on the mill itself. We'll probably find this center manually. We'll just scribe it down and do a center punch. We can put the dead center in here on the lathe to keep it turning true. There isn't very much material back here to grip onto, so I'd be worrying about it wobbling while it's in there. Once it's in, we just turn it down, turn down that part of it. It's not too critical, and we'll do our best with the drill, but it's sort of just a by eye thing. Throw a radius on the front end by hand. I can't think of a much easier way to do it than that. It's just a small radius, but it gives it some aesthetic appeal. And that should be about it. Once it's to that point, we'll take it out of the chuck and we'll reclamp it on its outside cylindrical face so we know it's running true, and then we'll do the line bore and drill for the whole center and ream it through so it's sitting true with the thread, and actually run this, bore this out as well so we can tap it with the bottoming tap so we can thread onto the barrel. Now once it's to that point, it's done. It should all be clamped together at that point, so it looks pretty good. Again, I just have it mirrored and flipped right here, so you won't have these counter bores on the bottom half. It'll just be closed up, but regardless, that looks pretty neat. Let me know if you want any changes.